Welcome to Guitar Talk Episode 7, the Festive Christmas Edition. Before we crack on with this review, I just want to say a really heartfelt thank you to everybody who has given me such brilliant feedback on the content I've been putting up on this channel. It's really meant a lot to me in this day and age of trolls and no matter what you feel or think, being told you're wrong online. You know, the stuff like that, now I'm kind of older and wiser, maybe. Doesn't really get to me as much, but nevertheless, it's still really nice to get positive feedback from what you're doing, so I'm really glad you guys are enjoying it. In this episode, we are looking at two things we've never looked at before on this channel. Number one, an ESP guitar. Number two, a signature model. Yes, you guessed it. It's Barney the Dinosaur, the guitar version. This is the ESP LTD SC-607B in matte purple. This is the signature model of Stephen Carpenter from Deftones. It looks fucking great. Look at this colour. I've never seen a guitar in matte purple before. It really looks awesome. You know, I know that Stephen he's not the most kind of technically minded guitar player from interviews I've seen. He's spoken about the fact that he has, you know, non-traditional pickup configurations. He usually has the two humbuckers on his guitar. It's literally just done for aesthetic reasons. There's no like technical sound it's giving him or anything like that, and I really respect his honesty, because it's quite easy to come up with some bullshit answer that's just like, you know, oh, it's a unique tone that it gives me. I don't know. So this guitar, let's go over specs quickly. It is a neck through design. There is a single Fishman Stephen Carpenter signature model pickup, which we will go into because this is quite a special pickup. It's quite different from the standard range of Fishman Fluence Modern, for example, both in looks and in sound. The frets are stainless steel and the fingerboard is ebony. I am not sure what the nut is made out of, but it's definitely not plastic, which is always good news because plastic nut equals fucking horrendous tuning stability. Locking LTD machine heads. They are LTD branded, they're not aftermarket. And this guitar is a 2019 serial number, looks like September 2019. So it's quite new. Excuse me. You can tell it's Christmas because it's 5 o'clock and I'm already drinking. It's gotta be Christmas, right? So, why the hell do I have this? I have asked myself this question a couple of times, I'll be quite honest with you. Because I have mixed feelings. I'm kind of conflicted about signature model guitars and owning them. On the one hand, I feel like usually they're more interesting and generally kind of more generously spec'd than the sort of standard range of guitars at the equivalent price point from whatever manufacturer you're looking at. On the other hand, playing one and owning one, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm wearing someone else's sweater. You know, like, yeah, this is a great guitar, but it's like a signature specific thing that's been made for somebody else. You know, so much of what I do with my music, the music I write, the content I put out on this channel is about being myself and expressing myself and building my own kind of musical identity, and that's really important to me personally. So, you know, buying someone else's signature instrument, it's kind of in conflict with that goal and that kind of ethos of mine. This is the first signature guitar I've ever bought for that reason. And what was different about this guitar was, I don't know, I just fell in love with the way it looked, to be quite honest with you. The specs really appeal to me. First of all, it's a 7-string. 7-string is my favourite type of guitar to play at the moment. I play more 7-string than anything else. I don't know why, but I find myself more comfortable on a 7-string than any other type of guitar. That could be because I have like freakishly long fingers, I don't know, but something about the neck, and it doesn't matter what brand it is, I just really like 7-string. The other thing is this guitar is a 27-inch scale length. So whilst being a 7-string, it's also a baritone scale length, which the more time goes on, the more I'm convinced that a 27-inch scale length is just where it's at. 6-string, 7-string, no matter what. Reason being is it opens up way more possibilities for tunings than a 26.5 or a 25.5 scale length on a 7-string. This guitar currently, I have this tuned as the bottom 7 strings of my 8-string. I mean, yeah, I have like reasonably thick on the bottom. I can't remember what it is. I think it's like an 80 gauge or something like that I've got on the bottom. But the string tension is really good considering this is a low F. And the tuning stability is good. It's not flappy. You know, oftentimes when you down tune on a standard scale length guitar, it gets real flappy and hence gets really noisy. But, you know, with this guitar, it just sits in this tuning really happily. It's great to play, it's great to sound, and I don't know, man, I just think 27-inch scale is where it's at, because if I wanted to, I could have this guitar in a more standard 7-string tuning, and because it's a longer scale length, I could use lighter gauge strings to still maintain the same level of tension without it getting all flappy and noisy and anything like that. So let's talk about this pickup, since this guitar only comes with one. I think there's something really metal about having just one pickup, don't you? It's almost like owning a massive car just for yourself. It's like, I don't fucking need to own this. I don't need, you know, I don't need a fucking neck pickup. I don't need, you know, I'm just that metal. Just give me one pickup and I'm sorted. You know. Nevertheless, this pickup is really unique, and it's not as limited in sounds as you might think, having this single pickup configuration. One thing before we do go on about this pickup is, hang on, let me find my little thingy bobber, as we say in this part of the country. This pickup has a lumen lay stripe. So if I use the little lumen lay chargy boy thingy, I'll try and turn this towards the camera that way. How cool is that? I mean, that's got to be a reason for having these pickups alone, is it not? No? It looks really cool. Nice touch. As far as I know, the Stephen Carpenter Fluence models are the only models that have this particular aesthetic to them. There is another one, I think it might be the Kill Switch Engage set. They also have a white stripe, but I'm not sure if it's Lumen anyway. So this pickup, as with any other type of Fishman Fluence modern, comes with multiple voicings. We'll get into those in a second, but what I will say is voice 2 is very, very unique on this pickup. It's not a sound I've heard from any other active pickup or any other Fishman Fluence modern. This guitar gives you a lot more options than you might think with a single pickup guitar. So I'll show you some clean stuff first, because maybe you'll be surprised at what you can do. Currently, this guitar is just in voice 1, no tone knob, you know, fiddling around or anything like that. So the sound you get is... So, you know, your typical kind of a slightly anemic, trebly bridge pickup sound playing cleans, you know, maybe not something you would necessarily like or use unless it was a stylistic choice. However, if we use the push-pull pot to go to voice 2, leads are actually quite nice. And I think that were this to be a standard Fishman Fluence modern pickup, without this kind of special Stephen Carpenter voicing, that may not be the case. But Voice 2 is really unique in that is a shitload of low end. It really seems to boost the mid to low frequencies, and certainly it sounds less compressed as a result. You know, Voice 1 on the Fishman Fluence modern is just compressed to fuck. It's like the ultimate kind of active sound. You know, if you really wanted to add another style, you could just roll the tone knob. So you see, it's a lot more versatile than you might expect. I mean, it certainly surprised me. You could quite easily gig with this, I think. We'll get onto heavy sounds now. I'm not sure how well Voice 2 would cut through in a mix, given that it's fairly bass heavy, and you know, these are frequencies you wouldn't normally associate with a guitar sound. I must say that in the room on both heavy and clean stuff, I really like Voice 2, and it's all I use. There's just something incredibly chunky and powerful about the low end from it. And you know, if that's something you like, I think especially if you're into extended range guitars and downtuning, I think you're gonna love this Voice 2. It's really, really interesting. I've never heard this particular set of frequencies boosted in a guitar pickup before. So that is Voice 1. Let's move on to Voice 2. Great fucking sounds, man. Really unique, really thick, really chunky. The typical Fishman Fluence kind of clarity where you can hear every note. Sounds fucking great, man. I mean, I do think that there is something about scale length that does influence tone. You know, to me, longer scale length guitars just have a slightly different sound. I don't know if it's to do with the extra tension. You know, clearly the strings vibrate in a different way. You know, they have to. There's an entire fucking, you know, extra however many centimeters it is added to the neck from the bridge, so it's got to. So let's have a look at build quality. This guitar is made in Korea. I can see there's a W on the headstock, which means it's made at World Musical Instruments, which is one of the biggest and kind of one of the most sort of renowned places to have guitars manufactured. God knows how many brands have their stuff manufactured there. Korea, it's an interesting one. You know, not so long ago, maybe 10, 20 years, Korea was a place where the perception was cheap guitars were made there. And then what happened was they got actually really fucking good at making guitars. And then prices naturally went up, cost of production went up. And The more affordable end of kind of mass production moved to Indonesia. Obviously the bottom rung is China. So these days, instruments coming out of Korea, you would sort of think of them as kind of upper mid-range guitars. You know, they're mass produced, but generally I find stuff made in Korea is made to a very good standard, very good. Out of all the kind of Korean instruments I've owned, I can't really think of any massive build quality problems I've had. Certainly no issues with frets or finishing flaws or nut problems. So this guitar has stainless steel frets. The fretwork is fucking flawless. Not a single mark, not a single sharp edge. They're rounded. The nut is absolutely flush and level with the neck. There's no issues there. It's not sharp at all. The pickup cavity is extremely clean. I can't see any issues there whatsoever. The tone knobs are recessed. There's absolutely no evidence of neck join or anything like that, or any kind of body wing join. I know this is a neck through. It's either a neck through or a set through. I can't actually remember, to be honest, but either way, there's absolutely nothing, you know, to fault with the paint job. The binding on the neck is flawless, really clean. This is a shit hot instrument. It kind of should be for the price. I think this guitar retails about 1100, something like that. So yeah, you know, I've said this before in my videos, like anything over $1,000 should be shit hot. That's a lot of money for a guitar. You know, I think you should have higher expectations if you're paying that kind of money. Another nice touch is this guitar came with a proper hard shell case, a beast of a case given how big this thing is. Nice touch, ESP. You know, I mean, I'm seeing manufacturers shifting guitars at 1,300–1,400 quid without a case, without even a gig bag. That's fucking outrageous, considering, you know, how cheaply they can probably get these things manufactured, man. It's, yeah. I mean, it's even put me off buying certain guitars recently that, you know, I've looked at the price and I've gone, fuck me, it doesn't come with a gig bag? Like, nah, no way, man. So this thing comes with a proper beast of a hard shell case, which is a fantastic touch. You know, good on ESP for doing that. Do ESP make a bad guitar these days? I've never played an ESP that was badly built. I mean, I don't know exactly what the QC process is, but, you know, I know they have a substantial amount of instruments manufactured in Indonesia and Korea. You know, there must be stuff that doesn't make the cut, but I mean, I've certainly never played one. Even going back to sort of the early 2000s, they seem to have a real good track record for build quality. And certainly a better track record for QC than a lot of the competition. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this guitar, if it's going to be a seller, just something I make a video on and get rid of. I'm kind of conflicted about the signature model thing, because I do really like this guitar. It looks awesome. I love the scale length. I really like the sound out of it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. How do you feel about signature model guitars? I'm interested to know if it's just me and one of my weird things. That's the end of this roundup on the ESP LTD SC-607B. It's a mouthful, they all are. Guitar Talk is going to be back in the new year with regular weekly uploads to this channel. I might not do a Guitar Talk episode every week because I might not have a guitar to review, but certainly, you know, doing the weekly uploads this year seems to have worked really well, and you guys seem to really enjoy it. Once again, thank you so much for the positive feedback, the engagement that I've had. It's brought a smile to my face in what's been a real shitty fucking year, as I'm sure you can imagine. Take care of yourselves, have a great Christmas, have a great New Year, and we'll chug away together in 2021.